Alrighty, boys and girls, good morning. Welcome in, welcome in. Got a few more rares to kill this morning. First thing, I promise we won't be doing the rare killing thing for too long. I want to get some delves done today, and in fact, today, as it's getting closer to the end of the week, and we've got a busy World of Warcraft week ahead of us next week, I might play some Division on stream a little bit later today if anybody's interested. I've just unlocked the New York expansion for the Division 2, so I've got storyline to look through, which is fun. But I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody had a good reset day yesterday. There was still seems to be plenty of activity on the auction house. Prices are coming down. Players are clearly slowing down, but there's still a hive of activity, it feels. Right, who do we still need? We need Tally and we need Nitro. We are going to have to lurk in the middle for a minute then. I'm not going to go kill him on this dude. Closer to the end of the week, it's the second day of reset. True. Yeah, it depends on how you consider your week, yeah. Yes, I do kind of internally, my internal brain considers Wednesday the start of the week, but I also have to, at least to some part, live like a normal person on a Monday to Friday schedule. But yeah, I get what you mean. Why is this? Let's turn this off. It needs to be on, does it? Let's go check the mailboxes on these since there's no rares up. Might as well wombo combo. Oh, clearly haven't killed much on these characters in the last few days. Literally nothing at all. Hand crank mounting system. Let's go park them in the hotel so then they at least have oh, hang on. These guys haven't even got half their macros. Where's the logout macros? One of you. Yeah, I suppose it is only the second day reset. I've got to get my delves done today. Some, get my 8s done. Who's that? Who's that spawning? Garbage. Is it garbage up here? No, it's garbage all the way over there. Steam boil gears. Hand crank gears, more 610s. You don't have your flipping keybinds either. Big slack. Need to get my slot for bars. That's the name of the add-on. I was racking my brains the other day to try and remember what that flipping add-on was called, and I tried to ask chat and chat didn't know. Yes, the My Slot add-on. That is exactly the one I'm looking for, isn't it? See, I knew the add-on existed. For the most part, I've set nearly all of this up now at this point, which is slightly frustrating, but yes. Just ask me. Well, yeah, I should have come to the source, shouldn't I? I should have come to the source of the alts. That would have been a smarter move. I also realised having them chilling in the hotel gets them rested experience as well, which most of these characters don't have because the war within accounts were made like fresh a few days ago. But leaving them in the hotel will give them a touch of rested experience as well, I think. Right, let's leave them there. Right, who do we still need? Tally and Nitro. At least for the basics. I tend to only kill the basic 4 rares on most of these during the day. If I have bonus time in the evening or extra effort to dedicate to it, I'll go a bit further. Scrap chewer. can summon him myself. At some point during the week, I need to do a world tour on them to get the weeklies done, but I'll do that with the hunt with my main character, since that will allow me to literally one-shot every rare on the map. I think I can even solo. I'm pretty sure my main can solo every rare in the zone now, which is nice. Oh, doggo, I'm sorry. What are you sat behind my chair? That's a dangerous spot to sit. Run over the dog. Chris, welcome in. Good morning, and of course, Chalida. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's well. One thing we can do while we're kind of lurking is check to see if there's any news. Any news? Any goings-ons? Some DPS rankings. Not really that bothered. Only thing I did on multiple accounts like that was the scrap farm while Galagio wasn't spawning in the first few days. Kind of burnt out on the breakneck 3 seat. Yeah, the other way I was considering doing it was in that kind of way of just piling 2 of the characters in the back of the car and driving around. And that, you know, obviously that doubles the amount of effort because I'd have to do 1 lap with 2, you 1 lap with 2 characters, then move on sort of thing. It's slightly more efficient, but yeah, I kind of get it. It's kind of, it's both multi-box friendly and not friendly at the same time, really. Driving twice for each rare as a non-starter. Maybe, yeah, just straight limiting to 3 accounts, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's testing. It's testing. It's seeing what works, seeing what I'm comfortable with doing. Killing just the 4 hotel rares, or what we can commonly refer to as the hotel rares, plus obviously Slugger once a week. Killing the 4 hotel rares on the daily is about the limit of my efforts, to be honest, with this one at this point. I'd much rather be spending time doing other stuff, but it's optimal enough at the moment that I like to keep up with the basics. Spend an hour or so doing this a day, not too much more. Certainly not spending like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day doing this like we were at the beginning of the patch, because that was wild. What we got here? World of Warcraft Crossroads and Anthology updated with some new cover art. Couldn't care less. Disc priest stuff, completion rates on the Mythic Plus dungeons, some hot fixes, demonology hot fix. Fixed a bug preventing Bran from damaging the particularly bad guys. Over in Delves. Was that something spawning? I think that was Nitro spawning.
Hey, there's loads of scrap right for the picking in the heaps. Go in there and grab some, will you? Pretty world-wise, ain't ya? I got a mook inspector that could use the help of someone with brains. Go talk to him?
Oh, why did we pull these ones? Slugger's still a bit tricky for me on these lower level alts. This is one that might need my main to support with. But we can give it a go if somebody else is over there. There seems to be plenty of people killing rares again today. Oh, this dude is literally going to Slugger. This might be a win. Oh my god, what's going on here? Chaos. Welcome in, Senti. Good morning. Hope you're well. A lot going on screen today. Well, there's actually only a lot going on this screen particularly. These guys are just chilling on the bench. But yeah, there's we're getting this out the way first and foremost this morning. Ooh, Sal. I like trying to hit up Sal. If we can get a sound kill, I usually try and take a sound kill. Right. Hop in the car. Shit, which car's mine? That one. Let's see if we can go get a sound kill for these two at least. This way. You'd think I'd know the map with my eyes closed by now. Okay, haven't got time to get the other pair up here. Because he's already been pulled. These guys, whilst they're here, they might as well loot him. Take them back. Garbage. Nah, too far away. Nitro, Swigs, Thwack, Tally. Tally's the last one I need on this team. Let's lurk for a little bit then. Can you please explain how this setup helps with farming the Mechanica items if the alts aren't there to loot the rares? Well, they do kind of have to be near the rares. This is the thing. There is a radius in which party loot applies. The rares don't need to tag the mobs because they get an automatic tag by being in a party. But the rare does need to be somewhat close. There is the within minimap view is usually about right. It's not exact science that, but it's close enough. So you can have dudes chilling in the hotel and they'll be able to get the rares that are like in close proximity without actually leaving the hotel. And the way the loot works basically is because you don't loot them, the rare items will get sent to your mailbox. The Mechanica's a rare item as well, so even those get sent to the mailbox, and then you just loot from the mailbox once every few days on these characters. Is the theory. Now, of course, there's plenty more rares on the map, right? So there's like all rares around the edge of the map, which you're kind of not killing very frequently. I mean, doing it this way is more efficient than doing it on one single account. But I do think there is kind of a bit of a happy medium here with maybe just doing it on 3 accounts and throwing two guys in the back of the car and then killing all of the rares on the map every day. I'm starting to think that might be the happy medium approach. But this doesn't take too long. Isn't exactly a lot of effort particularly. It just kind of requires you to have the infrastructure set up in the first place, really. There's not really... I mean, there's all the time in the world, technically, but there's... it would take you a long time to get all of the level 70s on all of the different accounts unless you already kind of had them. This is a byproduct of Mr. Pandaria Remix, where I leveled a bunch of tunes on a bunch of different realms. Not realms, sorry, accounts. I do it on 5 accounts, follow with a normal mount. That's also entirely feasible. Yeah, you could sort of use more traditional multi-box approach with this. You could just kind of like have all the 4 other accounts on follow of the main account and trundle them all around. The downside of that is because they're all low level 70s, your aggro range is flipping ridiculous, and you're going to find that they get aggroed and killed from time to time, I'd imagine. I'm sure with a bit of practice you'd figure out the routes to take so that that doesn't happen, but for me at the moment, I'm kind of content with just this small little 4 kills situation. Mine are all level 80. If you've got them all, if you've leveled all of those tunes up already, if these guys are all level 80 as well, then that becomes a lot more straightforward to do in more traditional ways. Is anybody killing Slugger? Or this actually looks like Slugger could just be dead. Yeah, Slugger's dead. I even think there were people farming Slugger, to be honest, right now. Is that a dark magic alert for Thwack as well? Does that mean Thwack's dead? Yeah, people are waking up. People are killing rares today. It's the same scenario. You kind of got to be there when it spawns, or you're going to be potentially shit out of luck. Obviously, everybody will find their happy medium between... That's Flyboy. Everybody will find their happy medium between effort put in and results out. And there's plenty of different ways you could do it. Easter break started, more people on. Possibly. Possibly. Yeah, there's some people that will have today off as well, isn't there? Put Banana Fred indoors. Welcome in, Goldson. Good morning. Or good evening, in your case. Nice little long weekend for people. True, true. In that regards, it is worth noting that I'm actually away for part of Easter. There should still be a stream tomorrow, though. Monday is the questionable day. As my wife does insist that we be social at social events during the year. So Easter being one of them. But yes, happy Easter to people. What was that? Swigs up. Social events, the horror. Yeah, for somebody that... I've always thought there's this weird sort of... you will often find streamers... Like, I think you'll find, like, most YouTubers, for example, like, first and foremost YouTubers are quite extroverted people. Streamers, you tend to find there's a 50-50 split between, like, true hardcore introverts and then your regular outgoing extroverted people. But the interesting thing for me is that you can be quite prominent as a streamer and also an introvert. Like, I don't want to go out and don't particularly want to spend too much time socializing with other people. Yet I'll sit and I'll talk and I'll, you know, broadcast myself to a bunch of people every day instead. It's weird. Like, when you even 50 viewers, if you think about standing in a room talking to 50 people, most people fall apart at just the thought of doing that. It's weird. It's odd. That safety net of being just kind of like behind the camera is weird. Any goodies in here? Flipping stupid things that look the same as the other stupid things. Who do you see? Junk wall. Or was that Nitro up? Who's pulling Nitro all the way over there? Could we bring Nitro a bit closer, please?
I got a mook inspector that could use the help of someone with brains. Go talk to him?
That's running the risk of it being too flipping far away from the hotel. Been going down the Twitch alerts rabbit hole, so much to learn. Yeah, Twitch, like, alerts are built into Twitch now. They're pretty straightforward and easy to set up. Just pull in a browser source into OBS and job done. I mean, yeah, there's a real rabbit hole when it comes to things like that. Most creators tend to find that they will find something that works for them and then stick with it and never change it because it's well, for reasons. Why do these guys not seem to be claiming credit on any of the rare kills? That's weird. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, flipping hell. I've just realised I've been making a monumental boo-boo. My characters aren't grouped up. What a donut. Oh, well. Found Terry's chocolate oranges in normal again yesterday. You mean one of these? I'm literally eating one now. Actually, I need my coffee. See, for me, Terry's chocolate orange is a Christmas thing, but I'll make an exception when it's not just the default orange one. I'm actually eating one of the mint chocolate ones right now. Very tasty. Very tasty. Made a lot of gold at the start of the expansion doing this when nobody was doing it, selling blue rares for 20k each over on Kazakh. I think I did about $1 million with it. Yeah, running around doing dumpsters and stuff. All the 603s. All the 603s that you could get from dumpsters, I was selling those for a pretty penny for quite a while. I've actually burnt through most of my stock of those now, and I actually start to suspect that some savvy long-term investors have probably been buying them up for a few thousand gold a piece, squirreling them away. Because the The long tails, the supply of those is going to be pretty skinny, but they're cool looking mugs. I just don't really have the infrastructure or the desire to squirrel them all away and deal with them in 9 months' time right now. Do I want to cart a couple of guys up to Sal? I think I probably do. If we can get there quick enough. Probably get 2 guys there. Probably won't have time to get the other 2, but something is better than nothing. Oh, he's not been pulled yet. Should try and get the other 2. See if we've got time for the other 2. See if anybody turns up. Shit. I gotta get close enough, but not too close. Nice. Public speaking is actually taught in Australian schools. Kids are super confident when it comes to that sort. Really? Well, that's clever. That's clever. I think it's a very strong trait to have, or a skill to have. People don't see it as a skill, talking to others, but trust me, as a ex-salesman, a relatively successful one at that, being able to talk to people can make you a lot of money. A lot of money. Ah, you need to be level 80 to do the dumpsters. Boo. Makes sense though, I suppose. Downloading the Division 2, but it's 90 gig. 90 gig shouldn't take too long. I will offer up some pre-warning that I might not be doing too much group activity in the Division 2 just yet. I've only just unlocked the New York, the New York expansion, so I've still got quite a lot of storyline and stuff to go through there before I'm really pushing into group content. Now I know technically you can do group stuff whilst you're doing all of that, but either way, once we do get there, it'd be fun to do some group stuff. Blast some things. I think what are the you can do 8-player. There's 8-player game modes, isn't there? Right, who've these guys got? Not really anybody. Slugger's up if we can get a kill on Slugger. I'm not strong enough to solo him though. Might need to wait for a friend. What we can do is clear some trash at least whilst we do wait for a friend. Want a morning scare, Steam powered, account data, account spend. I don't actually think my account spend on Steam is very high. I have a surprisingly small amount of games on Steam, I feel. But you're right, it could be a nice morning jump scare, mightn't it? Oh, I've got to sign in first. Is that me? Authenticators? Ah, oh, Jesus. Wait, hang on. Is it an actual Steam Authenticator thing? Whoa, hang on. Priorities. was about to read that out then. That's probably not the smartest thing to do, is it, with an authenticator code? Does this show anything it shouldn't show? Let's see. External funds used. This is a sum of external funds that have been applied to your Steam account. Hang on, let me get to a safe spot. I'm being nuked. And I actually have World of Warcraft to thank for my Steam account not being that padded. Because, World of Warcraft has historically got in the way of me spending big bucks. I'm certainly I don't think I've ever paid, like, full price for a game on Steam. I tend to just pick them up maybe occasionally, possibly, when they're cheap in a sale, and then ultimately never play them, much like everybody else. What have we got then? External funds used. Total old spend. PW spend. I don't know what that means. China spend. Package only spend. Yeah, here you go, look, see? 938, the equivalent of 938 USD, only in package spend. And then, well, hang on, there's a bit in old spend then. I don't know what old spend means, but old spend is the amount of external funds applied before Friday the 17th, 2015. Oh, so I'd spent 130 bucks on Steam before 2015 even. If your account was linked to Perfect World for CSGO or Dota 2. Ah, okay. No, I never did any of that shenanigans. Yeah. Not that big of a number really, I don't think. Less than $1,000 on Steam. Set up my craft scan operation. It's a big lifesaver. However, I do feel I'm breaking some rules, even if I'm not. It's much like people when they first get Trade School Master up and running. They're like, oh my god, how was I doing this without this before? You know? How could you possibly be... How was I possibly ever doing any of this previously? Did I see you found Terry's chocolate orange at normal yesterday? Cheers. Blizzard clearly needs to learn to share the monies. Or they're trying. The amount of games now popping up on Battle.net. I was telling people, right? When Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard for $69 giggity dollars, one of the big headline features of why they were willing to spend that is because Battle.net works. Steam isn't for sale. Steam wasn't for sale. Epic Games has been hemorrhaging money for years at this point. But Battle.net works. And now we're starting to see more games land on Battle.net. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought it, right? Just need some of the Fats Mignon eggs for Easter. I don't like those because it's a solid piece of chocolate. I'm not a fan of those, if I'm honest. Like I'm relatively open to Finnish traditions, but those I'm not a big fan of. Swigs, Tally, Thwack. I need a Nitro kill. Nitro's recently dead. Is it worth waiting for Nitro kill? For what? I don't know what his loot chance is. It's a lower 2%, I think. Oh. Send this man back to the UK. Oh, I can tell who you voted for the other day. Jesus. Got a bit burnt out last season. Haven't really played in a couple of months though now. Really like it, but got burnt out last season. Oh, are we talking about the division here still? Sorry, I'm not keeping up with chat particularly well today. I'm trying to keep my eyes on rare spawns. Yeah, Sea of Thieves on Battle.net. Tony Hawk's Doom. Doom comes out relatively soon, right? We had Avowed ever so recently. There's a bunch of games, bunch of big titles, slowly but surely turning up on Battle.net. And like I said, it's because it fucking works. It's an online storefront that is by no means a competitor to Steam, but it is a place where games can be listed and where games sell. Blizzard has created this ecosystem with Battle.net that, you know, at least in small parts, is quite a bubble. You find me somebody that hasn't at least at some point like installed or at least tried Hearthstone, you know, because it's like there all the time. Morning, do you know what happened with Zanzaful? He completely vanished. I don't think he's particularly playing the game a huge amount right now, which is part and parcel. He was less than impressed with the fact that Season 2 brought basically zero Goblin-esque stuff to the table. On top of that, he's got some IRL stuff that he's doing. And to be honest, he went pretty ham in Season 1, so I'm not surprised he's taking a bit of a break. He'll be back. He'll be back at some point, don't worry. Avowed was awesome. It was a good RPG, open world IP too. I might give it a go at some point. The advantage of stuff being on Battle.net is by being a WoW millionaire, I basically get all the games for free. So there's no reason for me to not try them out at least a little bit. The dude went way hard on his ults. He had like 170 ults. Yeah, he did a lot. He did an awful lot of setup of his concentration ults, but he now has the advantage that he can log on twice a week, spend a couple of hours, and still make like probably 10 million gold a month. Guys printing gold with those concentration ults now. Come on, Nitro. The fact that you're lying here dead. When were you seen? 20 past... Okay. It's one of those that if I turn around and go back inside the hotel and start logging everybody off, he'll spawn. But I think it's probably better to get the next team in. Get the next team in, I think. Yeah, I spoke to Zan a week or so ago. He's chilling. He's fine. Right, let's not make the same mistake of forgetting to group everybody up, because that was dum-dum level stupid dum-dums. I think that is actually Tally spawned. And maybe even a Swigs. Oh, too many add-ons. Oh, that was a Tally. Whoops, we were too slow. Snooze you lose. That is Slugger. Usually attracts a crowd, Mr. Slugger, if we wait here long enough. Especially if we clear some trash out to make the arena a bit easier to deal with. Somebody's going for it. Okay, not bad. Not one of the default four, but we take it. It's usually a harder one to kill later on in the week, at least, anyway. Thwack, are you actually alive? Nope, you're dead. Makes me feel that Nitro is probably the next one to spawn. Since we've just missed a Tally kill. It also looks like Swigs is on the floor dead. I'm thinking Nitro is probably next. Right, while we wait, let's check these dudes out. Gonna have to figure out what to do with all this flipping 610 gear. There's a strong chance, you know, that it just ends up being vended. Us even disenchanting it, I don't really think is going to be that valuable. Most of this stuff vendors for like 60, 70 gold. I'd rather just take the 60, 70 raw gold than have to deal with excess enchanting mats. Plus disenchanting it all takes time. I think it's probably all just going to get vended, to be honest. Not quite as lucrative a mailbox opening as a K-Chack stream right now, I'm aware of that, but I've only had this rigged up for a few days, and I'm going to be honest, over the last few days I've been a bit lazy with it. Who's that? Flyboy. Steam gears. It's definitely a thing that if Legion Remix turns up, and if Legion Remix has similar alt leveling capabilities, and it doesn't clash aggressively with Grand Theft Auto 6, I think we'll have almost no excuse but to go a bit crazy on the old leveling of alts, I think, this time. Now, I know hindsight is 20/20 and all that, but... Oh, a Mechanica. Yoink. Yeah. I know who they are. Relax. He's sometimes in Goalmaker streams and seeing the Storm Dust rank 2 graph as of the last month. He's probably still doing the weekly price reset. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. This is the thing, right? One of the advantages of getting a whole bunch of infrastructure set up, going so hard as he did on concentration alts in Season 1, is anybody that did the same thing buys themselves the longest amount of time possible to take advantage of that, which, let's be real, concentration is an incredibly low effort system once it is set up. Obviously, getting all of the enchanters up to speed and getting their tools in order and that sort of stuff is painfully annoying and repetitive. But once it's done, twice a week, it's a 2-minute job twice a week per character, realistically, once you get into the swing of things. Meaning that if you you know, it's the closest thing you get to, or one of the closest things you get to just like very simple passive goal making. I just personally find it way too boring to even be bothered with. I could and I should do more of it, especially with all of these level 70s. There's no reason all of these level 70s shouldn't have enchanting, and there's realistically no reason I shouldn't be leveling enchanting on them while I'm waiting for the rares to kill the downtime. But there's lots of things I should do. What's that tally? It is. Sal's dead. Thwack's dead. We've killed Nitro. Right. Waiting on respawns then. Everybody we need to kill is currently dead. 50-60 characters seems fine for concentration to maintain, especially if it's something you can blast out on stream as well. Yeah. It's just getting into a rhythm with it. Get into a rhythm with it, assign a day to do it, sort of thing. Or assign a couple of hours on a couple of days to do it. If you're one thing I've really liked about concentration is it kind of has that same feel as like mission tables back in the day, in terms of the fact that it's kind of it can be done by players who are very early in their goal making journey. It's not necessary. I mean, obviously it scales with the more alts you have, but with how quick it is to level new alts as well these days, it's something that if people wanted to set up like 4 or 5 characters to begin with, and they're like, oh, well, hang on, this actually starts making a bunch. Well, it's time walking this week. I'll level 3 or 4 more characters and add them to the mix, and then, slowly scale it up. Probably a lot of setup now for the returns, but next expansion it should be a solid setup. Well, it depends what we see in Season 3. I still say that there is one good season's worth of concentrate, because with what happened with the material prices, with what happened with the enchant prices, with the gem prices, this time round, the peak isn't going to be as high for Season 3, because it never is. there's a lot of people by season 3 that are just done with the expansion, and they come back late in the, like, you know, the very tail end of the expansion and catch up on whatever they've missed. But so season 3 is never as big booming as season 1 or 2, but I would still say that setting concentration alts up now, they will easily have paid for themselves within a few weeks still. They still doesn't cost a lot to get them up and running. Though, filling this dead space when I am just waiting for rares to kill is the one reason I've vowed to not do too much of this on stream. As like I said, I could and probably should be being slightly more proactive with setting up enchanting on all these dudes as well, but it's also kind of frustrating. I'm somebody that has to focus on doing something and then finish doing that thing before moving on to something else. It's why I'm terrible at multitasking. If I was to start leveling enchanting on one of these dudes passively in the background, you know, I'd forget where I am and it'd frustrate the fuck out of me and it would take me twice as long to do. I really, really, really cannot be bothered with concentration ults, so I won't bother. Yes, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Actually, I probably find and probably take more enjoyment in setting them up, to be honest, than the log in every couple of days and craft a few things with them. It's the tail of it that drives me insane, not the setting it up part. Patterns are a lot cheaper now, at least. Well, there is that, yeah. There is that. But it can still be more than profitable even without buying any of the patterns. But I mean, a couple of thousand gold on a couple of extra patterns isn't going to break the bank, but might be worth it long term. Do you really think they'll keep concentration into the next expansion? Oh, absolutely. I don't think concentration's going anywhere. It's one thing it has done, has normalized, or very effectively normalized, people's opportunity to make gold. Everybody has the opportunity with a single character and 2 professions to make some gold. Now, that's kind of been Blizzard's goal with professions for a long time. The previous issue has been, though, that often it has been very easy to monopolize, you know, a handful of players putting in more effort than others will monopolize markets very easily. Concentration is a very clever little way to skirt around that, right? Doesn't matter how much time or effort you put in your professions, somebody with a very simple setup can come along and create 1 or 2 of a thing, and do it cheaper than you can mass produce stuff on. It's kind of the exact opposite to how the real world works. Whereas usually when you craft something en masse and you craft it or manufacture it or create it, whatever term you want to use, IRL, usually economies of scale mean that when you buy more materials, you get them at a better price. When you craft more things, you get a better per item crafting price. Usually making those one or two individual items are very, very expensive. Concentration flips that on its head, that there's this free currency that slowly fills up, that anybody can come along, and it makes professions valuable on an individual basis again. if you're a alchemist on your main character, you don't need to buy your flasks from the auction house anymore, because you can use your concentration to craft a couple of them significantly cheaper than what they're listed for on the auction house. So it brings value to your professions on an individual level. Whereas when you look at Dragonflight, where the scenario in Dragonflight was that the guy that spends 6 months farming knowledge points and has an absolute best in slot set up for alchemy is going to have a significantly cheaper price on crafting those potions than you do on your alchemist. So why would you ever bother leveling up an alchemist, for example? Basically null and voiding the reason for anybody other than big time goblins to play with professions, which isn't what they wanted. The whole point of the profession revamp was to like inject some more interest in professions and, you know, open up the connections between players to like share their expertise in professions a bit more. Concentration is the linchpin to the whole system, honestly, for me. If they take concentration away, they might as well revert the whole thing. They might as well just go back to the pre-Dragonflight system at that point, which nobody really wants, I don't think. Haven't met a person yet who cares about rank 3 flasks. Surprising, considering how well they sell in the auction house. But yeah. I get what you mean. Only gripe I have with concentration is that it's not possible to mass produce quality 3 after the season hype dies down. Otherwise, I think it's a really good season. Yeah, the armies of toons out there now that are able to utilize concentration does tend to actually push the price down enough, even still, for it to dip below mass-produced prices on a lot of stuff, which does, in a way, make the markets feel a little bit weird. But that is always the risk in a free and open market like we have in WoW, where there's no predetermined prices for stuff. The reality is that only goes to showcase that there are periods of time in the game where actually crafting stuff, the right choice is to not do it, because the supply of that item is already far more than meeting the demand. In a way, that aspect of that you can't mass produce things is good. It kind of saves people from making a mistake. The mistake being that they will often try and craft stuff thinking that it's going to be profitable. Then when the reality comes of actually trying to sell it and nobody wants it, that they then have to give it away practically for free. You know, it's more novice friendly if you just go to your crafting window and like, oh, mass producing this at quality 3 is just not profitable from the word go. In a way, I actually prefer it that way. I would rather know before I invest a bunch of time, gold, and effort into crafting something that it's not going to be worth doing. Big on drug-free raiding, mostly because I'm cheap. Yeah. Keep your flasks and potions to yourself. Might start leveling my 65 shopping alts that are spread around all the different realms when the next big leveling buff comes along. We've only got to wait till next week. We've got a 4-week leveling event kicking off next week. It's still actually only like a 20% boost to XP, which isn't realistically that much when you realise that you get... I mean, it does stack with this apparently, but you get, you know, just by having 5 alts, you get 25% bonus XP all the way to 80 anyway. The buff does stack with this, though, so it'll be up to like 45% bonus. But I kind of consider the leveling speed with this 25% boost to kind of be the baseline anyway. It's more of a case of that your first 4 ults are just slower than normal to level, and then everything else is at the then normal rate. It's just advertised as, oh, now you're doing shit faster. I think it was actually balanced out to be so that this is meant to be the normal pace anyway. Magno's a bit of a pain to do, but we can go kill Thwack. We need Thwack and we need Tally. Having these all sat down is a touch risky that they're going to log out. Tally's the last one we need. In that case, we can sit on the ramp and just wait. Shouldn't take too long. He hopes. Is the new event the same as the Panda one, where the ults are locked into that expansion until? No. There's an in-game. There's an in-game buff coming, much like a Time Walking Week sort of thing. That was what you're referring to was Mr. Pandaria remix. There's what we suspect to be a Legion remix is the next one. It's not been confirmed, but most people are pretty certain it's going to be a Legion remix next, which could be towards the end of the year or maybe early part of next year. We've got quite a lot to come before that, though, I think. We're going to have, obviously, Season 3. We've got Season 3. We've got Mr. Pandaria Classic, for those who are interested in Classic. We've got probably the Midnight Alpha before that. That will then presumably roll into the Midnight Beta at some point. I expect the Midnight Beta to basically run alongside Legion Remix. Alongside that, we will also probably have player housing launching, because I think we're going to be getting player housing before Midnight launches. We may even get, by the looks of things, we may even be getting player housing before the pre-patch for Midnight even. They don't seem to be linking player housing to the expansion particularly. I think they're just going to launch player housing when it's ready. So there's quite a lot going on in the next 6 to 12 months, I think. It will be Legion most probably now. Spoiler, they added the quest header, but they also removed it then in a build later. Maybe they messed up. I mean, leaks always happen, right? I mean, people have been suspecting it's going to be Legion for a while anyway. Since the initial announcement, people were like, well, that's a Legion logo. But then again, people do read in. People do read between the lines sometimes a bit too much occasionally, so we'll see. timeline turns Feln green towards winter 2025 in the timeline as well. Yeah, I mean, there's subtle hints all over the place. Feln green can technically also be TBC, yes. I'm not sure a Burning Crusade remix is what many players are particularly after, though. Although a TBC remix could be quite funny, because there were lots of people playing Season of Discovery, and one of the questions about Season of Discovery is, are they going to do an SOD, the Burning Crusade edition sort of thing? So we'll see. Yeah, people are doing lots of guesstimations right now. Lots of guesswork. Right, I'm not sure if I can be bothered to farm up Tally. When you've killed 3 out of the 4, waiting for the 4th one usually doubles the amount of time you spend on each team. There is exponential more time spent the closer you get to all 4 rares. First one and the second one usually pop up almost instantly, but then waiting for the 3rd and the 4th takes ages. I'm trying to optimize out the flipping lurking around, chilling, waiting for mobs to spawn. I'll have a quick dumpster though, mind. Yoink. I mean, yeah, it might not even be totally remix again. It could be, you know, it could be a different, completely new system. We don't know. That said, I have a horrible feeling that Missa Pandaria Remix was far too popular for them to not do it again. Look at the popularity level of Plunderstorm, and they were more than happy to do that again. It feels weird to say now that we've had like Plunderstorm twice. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Plunderstorm 2.0 was a bit of a letdown, though. I hope there's not a Plunderstorm 3. If they are gonna do a Plunderstorm 3, I hope they flipping change the map. I think that was the biggest problem for me, that they didn't bother using a new zone. They didn't bother redoing the map using a new zone, which made Plunderstorm 2.0 feel real meh for me, honestly. Remix, you say? Time to activate the 4th and 5th account. It's where all of these characters came from. Bit of mop remix. Don't know if I'll have any time to play remix if I'm busy with player housing. This is the thing for me. I have a horrible suspicion that it's all going to land on top of each other. Midnight beta. Look how much time and effort. Like, look what happens. I have a few expansions of doing this quite publicly now, where as soon as the Dragonflight beta turned up, retail was dead to me. In the beta for the War Within, I was quite keen to spend even more time in the beta for this expansion because I didn't get alpha access. So I felt I was playing catch up a little bit in that regard anyway. But we had the War Within beta and Missa Pandaria Remix up pretty much at the same time. Plus doing anything potentially in season 4. We might add player housing into the mix this time round. I don't know. I'm not going to need a 25th hour of the day. I'm going to need a 26th, a 7th, and an 8th, I think, if they stack it all on top of each other. Planning on doing Panda Classic as well. I'm afraid that the beta for Midnight is going to land somewhere there. Well, Panda Classic's due out in the summer. That's only a couple of months away. I suspect we'll get the alpha for Midnight before the end of the year. But the beta won't be until January, February next year, I suspect. It depends whether they go for a spring launch of the expansion or if they go for a summer launch. I still think they could launch Midnight as early as spring next year, simply on the basis that it's clear as day to me that they want shorter than 2-year expansions. They're at the point now where I think they are almost willing to completely shave off Season 4 and just can it off in order to make 3 seasons, 6 months apiece, 18-month expansions. It just seems to make more sense with everything that they've been doing recently. With their aggressive push towards this kind of like every 8 weeks, here's something. Now they're splitting that 8 weeks into 2 4-week chunks, trying to make it so that there's always something new around the corner every single month, keeping that engagement throughout the expansion, cutting out all of the dead air, basically. And I think having a 2-year expansion, there was basically 1 year of dead air. Look at how most expansions used to go, where there'd be a lot of play in the first 6 months, 9 months, first year, and then the second year was just desolate, right? Nothing, because they were clearly busy making the next expansion. But with a big enough team and, you know, some actually properly prepared, planned out content, we might now start to see 18-month expansions be a lot more realistic. I still truly believe their goal is to make 12-month expansions. It's clearly going to take them it's going to take them an expansion or two to transition into that. But if they do ultimately want to go to 12-month yearly expansions, they're going to have to go to 18-month expansions first. And they tend to be still, they're both telling us a lot, but also still being very coy with information about, you know, what's happening in Season 3 and is there even going to be a Season 4? You know, they've done a roadmap, but the roadmap only goes to the end of the year. They're kind of deliberately not telling us everything. Because of course they're a business, why would they? But my suspicion is very strong that they're pushing towards 18-month at least, if not 12-month expansions. Because, you know, at the end of the day, follow the money. When do Blizzard make all their money? Expansion launch. What's the best way to make more money? Release more expansions. Remix is going to be around October. According to the War Within beta, will then be November. According to the roadmap, housing will be in December, early January. Does it state Midnight beta on the roadmap? I know you said the War Within beta, but I'm assuming you meant Midnight. Who'd you see? Magno. Somebody out there chain killing Magno. I've seen him up a few times. Flipping out every time. Stupid flipping hand crank mounting system. Gives me the EBGBs every time I spot it. Do you want a weak aura that gives you an icon and a horn when a Mechanica drops? I knew there'd be something like that out there. Yes and no. Personally, yes. From a content perspective, no. The the fun and the excitement of going through it is part of the enjoyment in a weird way. But yes, I'm not surprised something like that exists. Garbage. Is garbage up here? No, garbage is... Oh, we're close enough to garbage. Out of curiosity, I'm going to go kill garbage on this dude anyway.
There's loads of scrap right for the picking in the heat.
I don't think this garbage spawn is quite close enough to the hotel to count, but the one up near Tally is. But, you know, a kill's a kill. Slugger. See if anybody else is killing Slugger real quick. Not right now. Let's wait for somebody else. Oh, is that Nitro spawning as well? I'd rather a Slugger kill over a Nitro kill. Are you going in, Mage? Are we going? Are we popping off? Fuck him up? Let's go. Oh my god, Pet got nuked. Oh lord, this dude's only 607. Yeah, I am not kitted out for this fight. Mage, you're gonna have to take the slack on this one. Oh, we got another hunter. Good. Oh my god, who's pulled the world and the kitchen sink? My pet is still just called Cat. Not even bothered naming it. Not even bothered. Thwack had spawned. Let's see if we're Team Never Lucky or Team Streamer Luck. Oh, maybe he hadn't actually spawned. Maybe it was a lie. Alright, where we got to? You. My real life cat is named Cat. Come here, cat. Want some food? I don't know why, but often on stream I refer to my dogs as dog. Hey, Mechanica. I should really friend my main character on all of these tunes. I still think the best trick is calling your cat dog and your dog cat. Tally? Really? Is this Tally's corpse? Tally's corpse. I've not found a single one of the hotel rares yet, have I? No. Not on this team. They have got credit. Oh, they did get credit for garbage. So that's interesting. Apparently there's 2 garbage spots that sort of qualify then. I think the garbage up by Grimewick is too far away. Grimewick is too far away by himself. Sal is too far away technically, so maybe Garbage Dude is just within range here of the hotel. Cat body type 1, cat body type 2, have one of each. So you got 2 diabetic cats, have you? My one cat is called Dave. Dave's just a cool name, I don't know why. It seems just a cool pet name. What, Dave? I don't know, maybe it's because... maybe I just think Dave's a funny name because of Only Fools and Horses. It just makes me... The name just makes me smile. Although one of my ex-girlfriends was called Cat, which is maybe why I don't like cats. Maybe why I'm a dog person. Short for Catherine, but she went by Cat. Before I met Mrs. Manthius. Oh, Red Dwarf for Dave, yeah. Maybe it's just a comedic name. Maybe that's what it is. Ten more characters and I'm going to be the Trade Duke. All the sub-factions on Exalted. The end is in sight. That's impressive, by the way. You must have been checklisting like your life depends on it. Holy. Good effort on that one. All before they double the rep for the next 4 weeks. It's good effort though, man. Has anybody figured out how you become the employee of the month yet? Is it? Because there's a bit of a weird achievement that doesn't really, people haven't really figured out if I understand it right. I can't remember which one it is. Nitro or Tally? Let's check Nitro real quick. Oh, Nitro's dead. That's not a good sign. And Tally's dead. Wow. The 2 rares I need are both dead right now. That's not great, is it? Alright, maybe we just chill by the fountain. Dad always wanted to call one of our dogs What? So when people asked what's the dog's name, he could reply exactly. Come here, what? That's also a joke out of some sketch show. Was it Blackadder? I know Blackadder had Bob. I don't know. It's definitely some. It feels Monty Python. Who's on first? Yeah. Who is the president of China? Yes, exactly. No. Who's the president of China? Who? Yeah. President who? Who's on first? Yeah. See, they don't make comedy the same as they used to. Fuck, I'm so old. Jesus. Nobody young's ever said that phrase. Now, I'm obviously very biased here, but old school British humour, top tier. Absolutely top tier. People are so sensitive. Yeah. Fucking snowflakes. Oh well, it's fine. Hale and Pace, Harry Enfield, the two Ronnies, etc. Literally golden ear. Oh, without question, yeah. I flick through TikTok occasionally and I keep getting clips of like Harry Enfield. An awful lot on TikTok. People are just like reposting all the sketches. The Fast Show. Oh, genuinely one of the best things that ever happened. Yeah, two Ronnies. Absolutely god tier humour. Today's humour isn't my thing. Or, well, you know, I find humour in some newer stuff. I see the irony in things like brain rot, even though it's kind of like, it's very young person humour. I see why it's funny. It's funny because it comes from a place of just pure ridiculousness, which is what I would often refer to like slapstick. It's just so ridiculous, it's funny. But when you're brought up on like Monty Python and stuff, humour that is so creative and so clever, when you then see traditional humour today, which is often not very clever humour, it's in fact the exact opposite. It's funny because it's so goddamn dumb. It's the exact opposite scale, but I can still see the humour in it because it's funny because it's on the ridiculous end of the spectrum, you know? It doesn't matter which direction on the spectrum, it's like, but it's still just ridiculous. So I kind of still get it, but I didn't think the Intercontinental Hotel was very funny at all. It's just not very clever, that's the thing. It's just very basic. Showed my mates at the pub here in Sydney last week, the Hale and Pace, the My Roundophobia skit last week, had them in stitches. Yeah, the old stuff is crazy good. The only real difficulty with a lot of the old sketch shows and stuff is political correctness gets in the way of a lot of it these days. Like, without failure, my favourite TV programme of all time is Fawlty Towers. Now, most of Fawlty Towers probably could not be broadcast today, as it leans far too hard into stereotypes that have basically been outlawed. Nothing, you know, there's no you know, not dropping N-bombs or anything, or using the hard R's, but it's still, you know, it's just not quite right by today's standards. But Fawlty Towers is still one of the best 8. I think they only did like 8, maybe 10 episodes in total, but easily one of the best programs ever made. Yeah, some old Robin Williams interviews are very funny, but equally not broadcastable by today's standards. Like the dry, sarcastic humour. Well, yeah, that's British humour in a nutshell. That is. We proclaim to have invented sarcasm. I think most of mainstream humour was, and still is, just kind of cringe. Need to find that gold in the crap, at least from my younger person perspective. But this is it. This is, like I said, like, I get brain rot. I understand why people find it funny. It's funny because it's bonkers level ridiculous. but it has to be so ridiculous before it becomes funny. And anything that's a little bit ridiculous is then just cringe. And there is an element of cringe humour. Borat, for example, or anything that, what's his name, Bone Karen Sasha or whatever his name is, like anything that he's touched is definitely cringe, but it's enough cringe that it's funny. Like if Borat was toned down 2 levels, it would just be like, oh, I can't watch this. But because it's just so ridiculous, Borat just becomes hysterical. It has to go far enough to actually cross the line into being funny. Jim Davidson was a prime example of the old school humour. Got him kicked off TV. Well, yeah, his humour and his personal opinions get in the way of his humour a little bit too much, which is put him in some hot water in recent years. Al Murray, on the other hand, pub landlord. Oh my god, so clever, so clever, very, very clever. Al Murray and the pub landlord stuff is very smart. I think that's kind of like Rick Mail and like Aid Edmondson's with like Bottom, for example. Very, very clever. Very, very smart humour. Ali G was probably his experiment as to how far he could take it before Borat appeared. Yeah, I think so. Ali G definitely gave him the watermark for what works and what doesn't. I'm not so much of a fan of like his more recent characters. I think he peaked at Borat. I'm pretty sure he peaked at Borat.
There's loads of scrap ripe for the picking in the heaps. Go in there and grab some.
Like the dictator and what was the
You're pretty world-wise, ain't you?
the fashion
Got a mook inspector that can
dude.
give you
I
some
can't remember his name.
Go talk to him?
I think those didn't really land with me. For me, he peaked at Borat, but Ali G is hysterical still. Is that all the rares? I think are we done our rare farm now? I think that's the rare farm done. We got a couple of bonus rares in. Didn't really chip away too much of the weeklies, but we got a few bonus stuff done. That still took me nearly 2 hours to do, which is a bit longer than I want it to take realistically. But like always, doing this on stream slows me down a little bit because I miss the odd rare here and there. I get distracted. Right, we can log these dudes out now. What I need to do, got to run a few delves, get our vault nicely padded, and put these out the way for now. Okay, this is loading. Let's not go resizing it while it's loading. I still need to kill a few of the weekly rares, even on my main, but let's get some delves done. Oh my god, my bags. My bags are horrendous. How many Mechanicas did we find? A few. Not many, but some. 17. 17 to spend. I want to get to 25 to get the third mount. Then we'll start dipping into the pets. Right, where's our delves today? Where are the delves? We've got Excavation Site 9. Fungal Folly. Mycomancer Cavern and Tekrathan Abyss. Isn't this a water one? I'm pretty sure that's a water one. I'm only banging these out on 8s. I'm not going to bother doing anything particularly fancy with these. We do these on 8s. Let's go do the new Undermine one, because that's relatively close. It's a water one, but it's really quick. Okay. Well, I'm just blasting 8s for Vault now. I'm not really trying to stretch myself in these. I don't even think I need any crests or anything from these anymore. Oh, there's like 10 more rune crests I can get before I hit a cap. So yeah, I literally need nothing more than a bit of brown XP and the vault credit, really. So we just slam some 8s. We can make things look a bit nicer now. Oh shit, what happened there? Oh, I fly off the end of the world. Whoops. I wonder what's gonna be with that. The fact that you can fly off the end of the world there leads me to believe that we'll be going there before long. 8. I don't even have keys to open the coffers. I literally don't care. I just need to get them completed for vault reasons.
Hey, how you doing?
No. Didn't mean to click on that thing. Where's Bran at? 68. We're going to hit the magic number of this delve, I reckon. Right, and we're going to, where possible, just chain link the fuck out the place. Chain pull. Generate profits. Oh, this is a slow one. I've actually just remembered. I'm glad I'm doing this only on 8s. Time gated stuff in here. Did that revive him? Right, Pet can do half the killing. We'll pick up these goodies. Oh, where did you come from? Alright, is that it from these two? Should be by now. That's 2 out of 6. That was nice and quick. Loads of money. So I've just realised I'm sat about a mile away from the mic. Anything up here that's worth nuking? Doesn't look like it, does it? Well, we'll pull you, we'll pull Treasure Crab, and we'll pull some extra just for DPS reasons. Oh god, no, I don't know what standing in these does, but I don't like it. Bran throws out silencing potions, okay. Upon entering combat, become miniature. Haste by 6%. There's a curio up there as well. One of the only reasons I'm here is for Bran experience, so I should probably make sure I pick them up. That said, I would have got more Bran experience if I did these on 11s, but then they take longer. Why are we doing the delves? Today, it's just for vault reasons today. We're basically all but capped on our crests and gearing for the week, so it's just for next week's delve progress. If I try to do 4 on a Wednesday, 4 on a Thursday. That way I've done my 8 for the week, and then I don't have to worry about it, sort of thing. Is my approach, at least right now. And we're only doing these on 8s because I don't really need to do them on 11s, even though we can. Quicker to do them on 8s. We're past the need of any runed crests though now, so it means from next week onwards we actually get 60 gilded crests, a little over 60 gilded crests a week, which is enough for 1 crafted piece of gear a week. Now we're going to be a little bit restricted on quantity of sparks to be able to actually craft those pieces of mythic gear. But it will leave some spare crests to upgrade some of these up to 6 of 6. Now, without doing higher tier content, I'm never going to get any myth track gear, so I feel I'm somewhat near the cap of my available gearing path now. Oh, it's still only 3. Arguably, I could have done this one on an 11, to be honest, because you've got to wait for these things to do their thing anyway. Not that I know if I need to, but let's pull all of this just so it's dead.
That's more like it.
I was hoping to get some big chunky experience out of that, but never lucky. 3 more things to find. Oh, cheeky bonus.
Nice fight.
Yeah, they're the ones we want. What was that, like 15k Bran experience? That definitely helps. Let's pull some of you. Get you out the way. Nice. Give me my profits. Oh no, hang on. Big dude. Profits. Profits will have to wait.
Here's your take of the spoils.
Two more profity doodads to find. Checkpoint. Can we do both of these at the same time, maybe?
Help's a coming.
Bran?
Hey, be careful.
Potions anytime soon? Thank you. Alright, get aggro on this dude. Get you on the go. Should we just do both at the same time? Why not? Why not? What could possibly go wrong? In for a penny. Okay, this has been alright so far. Can live with this. This is manageable. Is that it? We good? We dead? Let's get Cyber out of the way. Oh no, big dude. $96% profits. There we go. 100% profits. Cash monies. 99% profits. You kidding me? 100% monies. Now we're cooking. Oh, sorry, dog. Dogs started to like sleeping under my feet for some reason. Can't imagine it's the safest place to sleep. Under my feet and with a head round the back of my second PC, probably hoovering in CPU dust in her nose. Well, she's happy, she's happy. Did you sell your Mechanica mount? No, I've still got both of mine listed. I'm in no way, shape or form listing them at competitive rates. I'm of the opinion that they're far too cheap right now. And I'm in no rush to sell them. I think my minimum price is set to about 2.6 million on them. And they quite frequently on Draenor are dipping below that right now. So I'm just posting mine at a big silly number and letting them sit there. I'm in no need or rush or particular desire to quick sell them. So my perspective on this is I'm going to list them at a remarkably high price until I at least have one of everything. Only then, when I start getting 2 or more of everything, will I start considering dropping the price on them. I think people selling them at like 1.5 mil right now are getting a quick buck, but I also suspect those players won't be back with another one anytime soon. So I'm happy to let them sell theirs first and be on their way. I've got all the time in the world to sell mine. I'd actually rather have... I don't want or particularly need huge piles of liquid gold lying around right now, so having them sort of in asset form is fine. I've got a key, so I'll just open the chest, doesn't matter. Some bonus undercoin if nothing else. Right, that's one. Got 3 more to do. I'm hoping the next 3 are a bit quicker.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders. My thanks for your patronage.
Wasn't there one of these ones? Yeah, Fungal Folly was up today, so let's get that done. That one usually doesn't take too long. Where's the entrance to this place? Is it here? Yes. Beautiful. We don't get the Bountiful Coffer. We've run out of keys. I don't really care. I just need the completion and a bit of Bran XP. Right, be rescued. Oh my god, I've rescued you and you're about to go boom. Ha! You'll be fine. Some crystal or something. Probably this big dude. Let's tag all of these. In you come, fellas. Get boomed on. Elon, how we doing? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. You missed the goal making section. We're just messing around in Dells for vaults at the moment. But I hope you're doing well. How was your reset day? Selling significantly more than me, I imagine. The Elon? The Goblin Elon. He should be the Elon. Want some delves later too. Yeah, this is I'm at the point where there's not really a huge amount for me to actually get out of delves anymore. Oh my god. Oh my god. Not dying would be a good start though. I don't really need any gear from them particularly. But the 649 from the vault next week is worth fishing for. Hang on, there's more of these I'm meant to be picking up, isn't there? Bone flipping out. Woo! That scared the life out of me. Oh my. Who be this? Wow, Grandma, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for bringing both yourself and your friends over. I appreciate it very much. Hope you had a good stream. Could get some gear from Dells for sure. Missing loads. They're really good this season. I'm actually pleasantly surprised just how good Dells have been for gearing. I love that name, by the way. Fatty McBastard with a follow. Thank you. What a name. What an absolute genius of a name. For new viewers here, let me just give a quick brief introduction. I predominantly play around with professions and goal making and that sort of stuff, but you've caught me mid delves today. We do a little bit of the more solo, more collector style content, very chill. Not so much into my end game raiding or Mythic Plus particularly, but if it's profession related or goal making related, feel free to ask anything you like and welcome in. 9 hours of raid, keys, and a little bit of questing. That's dedication to the cause. I hope you got some good loot in the process. Oh, duck and weave, duck and weave. How many is that? 2. 3 more to go. I don't know the path in here. Oh, there's one up that way.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
I promise, Grandma, you're a PG stream. Should we say PG plus, maybe? At this hour in the day, obviously, for those who don't know, I'm very, you can probably tell by my accent, I am English, but I actually live in Finland. But if you're from the other side of the pond, it's quite early in the day here. It's only 1 PM in the afternoon, so we'll say PG plus, maybe, possibly. Ranthius does slip out occasionally, but it's all good. Oh, it's 3 AM over in NA. Yeah, okay. I forget just what the time difference is, but yeah, I can see why it's probably bedtime. So, thank you once again very much for bringing over yourself and your friends. I do appreciate the raid. And if you're off to bed, sleep well. Yeah, if I swear in Finnish, then people won't even notice, will they? So it's all good. Oh my gold. Hang on. Bob and weave. Is it bob and weave or duck and weave? Both, I suppose. How do we get to the rare? Ah, mushroom. Mushroom, mushroom. Yeah, earlier on in the stream, we were running around the new zone, the Undermine zone, killing as many rares as we can, collecting all the Mechanicas. With 113 Mechanicas needed to get all the mounts and pets. It's quite the grind. And I'm going to be brutally honest, at the moment, we're selling the pets and the mounts because they're worth quite a lot. If you haven't checked your auction house, they're worth some pretty pennies. Or at least if people would buy them, we'd be selling them. I need 2 more mushrooms. There's one over here. Let's just aggro everything. What could possibly go wrong? If in doubt, pull more. Isn't that the rule? I am Hunter at the end of the day. That's what we do best.
Oh, Bram's got your back.
I do apologise. I will pay slightly more attention to chat when I'm not trying quite so hard to not die. There we go. There we go.
Here's your take of the spoils.
Avoid the green swirlies. No swirlies. Oh, avoid the big swirlies. Okay, 4. Where's number 5? This away. How do we get up there? Hello? No mushroom? Do we have to take a scenic route? Do we have... Huh? Okay. Odd. Swear there's meant to be a mushroom there. Ah, we go this way. Okay. Finnish swear words is probably only the Finnish that people... Oh, well, that's actually true. Yeah, thinking about it. Finnish swear words have... they are probably quite well known globally these days. But the irony is it's probably some of the only Finnish that I actually speak. This way somewhere. Yes, I'm one of those terrible human beings that lives in a foreign country that doesn't speak the native language. But there is a blessing and a curse of that nearly everybody in Finland speaks probably better English than I do. In fact, my wife, who is a Finn, categorically has better English than I do. She can spell where I can't spell to save my life. Checking my TSM dashboard. Somehow I made 2.5 million gold profit in a month by selling mogs, farmed herbs and ore, and concentration crafts. I mean, that is top tier. Good effort. Do you have any idea of what sort of ratio mogs to concentration to materials that is? I mean, I know concentration crafting has been popping off recently. Is enchanting still... It must still be like 10 to 15 gold per point of concentration, right, surely? Which, with enough characters, adds up nice and quick. Oh wait, hang on, this is the boss, isn't it? Ha! Didn't even realise. I was just tunnel vision. Ooh, oh my god. Down he goes. Another one bites the dust. I think that's 2 down. I got 2 more to do. I'm kind of half leaving the water one to last though. Some undercoins, the last 2 of my rune crests, I think. Oh no, there's 3 more rune crests I can get this week before we hit the cap, and there they are.
Fantastic.
I don't even have a key to open that, so that'll have to stay there. Alright, I think that's everything. Where are we off to now? Mycomancer Cavern or Tekrathan Abyss. Heading out with the dogs before stream. Happy Easter, mate. Have a good one. Hey, thank you, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Lots of pats and scratches for the doggos. I've got one doggo under my feet right now, and I think you can just about see another one snoozing over here. Mogs first, concentration crafting second, everything else is third, if I had to guess, but not really an old army, so only have one of each of the professions. Still good effort. This is kind of the, I know I QQ on Mog farming and selling quite frequently, but it's mostly down to the fact that I unfortunately feel there's an awful lot of like false information. No, well, yeah, I am going to use the word false information out there about how lucrative transmog farming can be. It can be very lucrative, but boy oh boy, does it take forever to realize any of those profits. You can probably spend 100 hours of farming Mog and then another 100 hours of listing it over a period of like many months before you'll really start to see any return on that effort. Which, if you are planning on playing the game pretty consistently for a few years, then it can be worthwhile. But as the get rich quick that it so often seems to be sold as, I don't think it really works. Unless you're padding your collection, of course. Unless you're padding out your own mod collection. Which, of course, then you do you. Right, if we go and do Mycomancer Cavern, then we can use our little Go Places toy to get the last one done. And then that's our delves for the week done. That should put us on... That's the wrong button. It should put us on... What is the button I'm looking for? That button. Yeah. We got a few more... It should be these last 2 delves. And that'll bump this up to a 649 for next week. Hopefully. Hopefully. Agree on this. Doing a little test myself so far. I have over 100 hours, and I'd say I'm roughly doing about 10k an hour. But so heavy on the RNG. Probably needs way more hours to get an actual average. Yeah, this is kind of why the theory goes that, or should I say, a lot of people who do like farming transmog will often go and look for what is the, should we say, flavour of the month farm or whatever. There is a couple of staples that will pad out your collection, but I more often than not believe that those are going to be padding out your collection with everything else that's already in everybody else's collection as well. So this kind of, like a few years ago, the mindset of like, oh, you probably need a few hundred pieces of transmog before you'll see any sales. So just, you know, do what you need to do to get those first few hundred pieces was probably good advice once upon a time. But I worry nowadays that everybody that spends any time at all farming in Silithus is getting the exact same mogs, and they pad out their collection with the same shit that everybody else is trying to peddle. And so the reality is you should probably just put most of that in the bin. And this is where I tend to feel that a lot of the information out there about how to do transmog farming effectively is like, it was probably useful information once upon a time, but it's just way oversaturated now.
Take a look while you can. Enjoy for now.
Crates of mussels found underwater. One of you? The one thing that's kept me away from transmog farming for the longest time, though, more than anything, is the fact that I don't really have much desire to pad out my own collection. If you see the mog on most of my characters, oh boy, it's tragic. And it's because the reality is I just don't care. You know, the appearance of your character is one of those things you either care about or you don't. And unfortunately, I fall quite strongly in the category of I couldn't care less what my characters look like, particularly. the only value for me in transmog is that, you know, it's considered valuable by others. This isn't a chest, is it? This is going to pop with something. Yeah, there we go. I thought so. It was looking sus. We absolutely dumpster these tier 8 delves though now. Not that I have much desire past this week to really do many delves. It's really nice to know that we can absolutely slap these tier 8s. I've not been even remotely close. I don't think I've feared for my life once in these delves so far today, which is nice. It makes a change. I'm so used to being massively undergeared for whatever content I'm doing. It is somewhat refreshing to actually have some gear this season.
Old Bram's got your back.
Yeah, season 3 is going to be a bit of a chore because the novelty of blasting delves is going to run out pretty quickly, I think. Once you've seen the storylines. I need more sacks. Oh, there's 3 of them over here. How are we going to get these without going boom? Oh my god.
Let's have a quick sit down.
Well, maybe the fearing for my life situation I should have considered strongly. I didn't plan that out very well at all, did I?
Nice find.
Nice. Oh, wait, how do I... Oh, there we go. Right, that's 5. I need 2 more. Grab the checkpoint. I think there looks to be 1 over here. The irony in me saying I haven't feared for my life in these delves and then nearly died. The irony is not lost on me. Boing. 1 more. There we go. Hapless contestant found. This way. Let's avoid the big dude if we can. Grab a treasure crab though. Okay, this is maybe a bit much. Nah, we got this. We got this. Think positive. Do pet things though, please. Stonekeeper, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. I don't have loud or singing or dancing alerts for my follows, so sometimes I do occasionally miss them. But thank you very much. Whew, safe. That was slightly more than I think I needed to pull, but we're good. What's this? Silence potions. Silence potions. I'm guessing this is the way. we got Bran to the magic number yet? He must be close. Did he level up in the last one? Oh! Bran's about to hit the magic number. Can't do that in combat. What am I in combat with? Yeah! There we go! Bran hits the magic number. I should quit delves now and never do another one. Never do a single delve again. Giggity Bran. Such a child. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're meant to be PG, aren't we? Well, we'll categorise that as a, if you know, you know. Simpsons level humour. I should be on my bestest behaviours. Cannot promise anything. Bran potions, please. Your playtime expires in 30 minutes? No, it doesn't. That is a big stinky lie. I bought a token before the start of the stream, Blizzard. That is a big stinky lie. Where's this dude we're meant to find? Oh, we're hunting pumpkins all of a sudden. Oh, I can't keep up with this delve. Keeps moving the bar. I wonder what they're going to do with delves in Season 3 in Midnight. The player base seems pretty divided on those saying that gearing is now too easy and it messes up with Mythic Plus and pugging. And those having a blast because they can have decent gear progression whilst not being reliant on others. For example, being able to stop if your child needs attention without getting anybody angry. It's, yeah, I tend to find that most of the opinions you'll hear on stuff like this across the internet are just that. They're individuals' opinions, which far too much of the internet forgets these days that people are entitled to their own opinion, and more so, you may not necessarily agree with it. That's the definition of an opinion. But it's, I think ultimately, I've always had this opinion of that I don't think gatekeeping, and using the word gatekeeping is probably not, as too strong a terminology. Having top tier gear being solely behind high difficulty organized group content is a direction as a game that a game can go in, but it is without question limiting to a percentage of the people that may play the game. And I think this is where Blizzard's changed its opinion over the years. It's changed its opinion from the fact that it used to be a very small core dedicated, if you want the best gear, you've got to find a guild. You've got to do the top tier stuff. You've got to be, pushing towards mythic and all that sort of stuff. But over the years, the player base has both aged with the game. No longer is WoW dominated by teenagers. I would go as far as saying the average age of your WoW player right now is probably in their high 20s. If not more, possibly even. I don't even know. But yeah, they are slowly leaning more so into this theory that there's a lot of people, why should they obfuscate those people who are looking for the solo content when the reality is they could actually be some of their core audience at this point? The argument of that having delves giving you better gear makes Mythic Plus more difficult and worse, I think is a ludicrous argument. On the basis of that, if you're doing Mythic Plus properly, I think you should be doing it with like at least a few regular people anyway. I'm not really convinced that doing Mythic Plus in any serious fashion makes sense in the pugging world. Now, I know a lot of people do pug it, and they try and progress through it via pugging, but I really don't think it's the advertised playstyle particularly. And I really don't think that they should make overall game-defining reasons based on that. Having delves giving... You got to think about what is the repercussions of somebody like me that doesn't really do Mythic Plus or Raid. Is there any harm with me having reasonably high item level gear right now? Does it hurt anybody? Well, no, not really. It does mean that if I was to go and try and do some Mythic Plus all of a sudden, my item level would represent the fact that I should and could be doing high tier keys, but with absolutely zero knowledge of keys in general, you know, would mean that I would have a higher item level and I would underperform, and that can cause frustration to people who are expecting to take people in that have expertise. But this is my point. This is the problem with pugging in general. You don't, you know, if you're going to be pugging, you're going to always come across people that will not be on the skill level that you expect them to be. I don't think they should, you know, oh, well, okay, now people can't get gear in these other forms of content because it affects me, sort of thing. That's why I kind of think that argument's a bit of a null point, really. What's an interest compounder? Oh, it's a one-handed mace. Okay. Oh, cool! Look, it's a dark fused bomb on a stick. Oh, that's really quite a cool mod, to be fair. That actually fits my attire quite well, which is shockingly bad because I haven't remogged it since I've changed some of my gear recently. But to roll it back around to what do I think they're going to do with delves? I'm not totally convinced that they're going to change much, because historically what Blizzard tends to do is if they find something that works at least reasonably well, they milk it until there's no milk left. You know, let's not forget that Mythic Plus was a test once upon a time. Now it's an intrinsic part of the end game, whether you like it or not. I do worry about the replayability of delves, and that they are going to have to give it the Mythic Plus treatment, I feel, to keep the replayability there. I'm quite sure people out there don't really want to see affixes and stuff hitting delves, but I can't really see how else they're going to keep the replayability there. Torghast, at least, was a little bit different every time you ran it. Now they've offloaded all of that kind of roguelite-esque into your companion in delves, which we were initially told that Bran would just be the Season 1 dude, and that we'd have a new dude in Season 2, which they backtracked on. They backtracked on it kind of with good reason. But I still think it's slightly disappointing that they didn't just give us a second companion and we can choose, do we level up the second companion and start again with a new companion, or do we just continue with Bran? Like, I still feel that their choice to keep Bran about was more, shit, we haven't got time, we haven't got a second companion up and running and ready for season 2. And so, you know, PR do PR things, and they just, you know, said that it would feel weird to start again from 0. Well, you could have given us the choice, but... So they're going to have to do some stuff with Delves, I think. But yeah, the question's upon what they're going to do. We'll have to see. Is there a dude that sells as an underwater breathing thing in here? Where's the pay 200 gold, get to breathe guy? He's not here. Did I miss him? Okay, we are clearly just dealing with oxygen then. It's fine. I should just go out and buy a potion, but I can't be bothered. It's fine. All adds to the experience. We kill things fast enough, it probably shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to stand in a bubble. Rescue some Niffen, apparently, is point 1. I don't know if this is common, but for me, this season's gear system actually made me get interested in trying some low-level Mythic Plus. I mean, I can see why that would be a thing, since it is often considered easier to explore new content if you're already overpowered for that content, because it removes, you know, one of the barriers, doesn't it, really? So maybe in a way, yeah. I mean, I mean, Blizzard are the ones that'll have the data on this. Obviously, Blizzard will have the information that was there a significant uptick on low-level keys by proxy of people getting like 660 item level gearing and thinking, well, I can absolutely smash these keys, let's go see what all this fuss is about, sort of thing. Now, there's always going to be the percentage of people that will be like, I should be able to do a +10 in this gear, and then they go and like basically delete somebody's key by having no experience, which, sure, I can see that being frustrating. Bubbles, bubbles, where's the bubbles? Give me a bubble. There's no bubble anywhere. Hop, we're fine. Is there more bubbles around here? Literally gonna need to find a bubble per pack, it seems. No path available for pets. Oh no, what have I done? Ah, me flipping pigeons stuck in the coral. When I asked the question, what could possibly go wrong, that is what can go wrong. Stupid pigeon gets stuck. Dismiss pigeon. Summon pigeon. Look for the bubbles and get some air. Oh, gold. Bubble. Anybody got a bubble? Oh, I've just realised there's a life hack to this. There's a life hack that I hadn't considered. There we go. Yes. Suck it, game. I'm better than you. Skeletons don't need to breathe. Noggin Fogger for the win. Oh, bubble spawns when you save the Niffin, do they? Does this act as a bubble as well? Oh, that's clever. I didn't even know. If in doubt, just be a skeleton anyway. That Noggin Fogger, Everlasting Noggin Fogger elixir, goated. Goated toy. If you have not got yourself to at least honoured with, ooh, Steamweedle Cartel, go do it to get this thing. I think it's the Steamweedle Cartel. $178 viewers. Are you doing something different today? I'm getting raided by bigger streamers. That's what's that's what's going on. I would love to say I'm doing something different today. It is not of my own doing. Is that what we're on? Oh yeah. I know it displays on stream. I don't pay much. I don't have. It shows in a small little box on my OBS, but that's all. From what I can see from the stats, Mythic Plus participation is way up from Dragonflight, although they tend to not be as vocal. People who like Delves tend to like them quite a bit, so I see them keeping them basically as they are. I like, we know categorically that engagement matters to Blizzard, and there's no shadow of a doubt that most players are doing some delves. There's not really anybody out there that's like, I absolutely hate delves, I'm never doing them. Like, at least, you know, it's because the path of least resistance to at least some gear is quite comfortable through delves. You do it at your own pace, you know, you can slowly chip away at it week over week. I still think that crests are overly convoluted. Having 4 different tiers of crests is, from just a purely understanding perspective, too much in my eyes. But even still, the people that figure that out can be like, right, okay, well, I can go and do these delves, and then next week I can progress into these delves, and then you stack the vault on top of that, and there's maybe too many moving components generally, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is relatively novice friendly. Which, in a game that is now very arcadey, I think is probably perfect for what Blizzard want, really. Which, yeah, does lead me to think that they're probably not going to do much different. And if there's like an overflow into other endgame activities, if delves become the if delves end up being the gateway drug to harder things, then so be it.
That's more like it.
Any advice on the conundrum for using Acuity whilst leveling a new profession on knowledge books versus profession tools? The conundrum is simple. You need both. It's not an option to have one or the other. You need both, or at least eventually you will need both. There's not a scenario where you don't need both, really. I would say your Acuity for tools is a higher priority, But those books in the early days are still very valuable to have. I would use one, because as we've mentioned in past streams, you're going to be competing against players that have fully decked out professions. So it's not really an option A or B, it's both. But yeah, I would prioritize your tools over the books. As with catch up for knowledge points, you can get knowledge points from other places, whereas your tools only come from Acuity, and until you have them, you're very suboptimal. Oh my gold, what's going on there? Bran, we got any potions, mate? Potion Bran? Love a potion, Bran. Would absolutely kill for a potion right now. Okay, I'm gonna flip in turtle. Okay, there we go, potions. Woof! Spicy meatball. Panicked. Clearly panicked on that pull. Taking my lunch break and falling into a gateway drug convo? Oh, only in World of Warcraft terms. I'm under strict instructions to keep the stream PG friendly today.
Nice fight.
But welcome in. What's on the menu for lunch today? In fact, no, don't tell me, because I'm already getting hungry, which is dangerous. As soon as I start getting hungry, my ability to play the game falls off a cliff. Or just whisper it. Oh, no food, just a break. Ah. Raw dogging lunch, I see. If I remember, these mushrooms still hurt. So let's get out of the way of those. And he's dead. And that should also be my delve nicely padded now. 649 in the delve. Beautiful. Cooking on gas. Productive day. Brand level 69. Giggity. Fully decked out vault. Only 2 days into the week. We can live with that. Capped on rune crests. It still keeps telling me that it's giving them to me, even though I can't pick up any more. Coal Nork. I don't know what that word is. Nautic. Another Mog. More Mog. Ooh, shiny. I had one like this the other day. Is there colour variations of this? It's like some weird fish predator mask. I'm pretty sure I had one exactly like this the other day. There must be colour variations. Well, yoink. All the things is best pleased. Grab this last bit of loot for Bran.
Nice fight.
Nice. I don't have any keys to open these boxes anyway. And we can mosey on back home. Oh, well that was successful. cold coffee.
My directive is to serve you. My directive has been...
Oh my god, I swear I cleaned my bags like 2 days ago. Oh, the junk that you pick up playing this game. Let's go put those Mechanicas in the war bank before I lose them. Probably floods of 610 gear again. That's probably the issue, isn't it? All of those in there. What are we up to? 17. 17 to 25. I need 8 more. 8 more to get the third mount. Soon. Soon, TM. Right. One thing I haven't done today is checked any of my professions, actually. Where did the tunes go? Hello? Music? Oh, there we go. Right, did I do my profession stuff at all yesterday? Even the basic stuff? We did the quests and stuff, and no way I'm flying around picking up treasures, so that's just gonna... Oh, annoyingly, the jewel crafting treasures are worth 2 each. Those 4 knowledge points are kind of quite useful, but... Right, make me some money, game. Cash monies. Not like that. Not like that. Artisan security and a knowledge point for like 80 gold. Sure. Have I got multiple tools for leatherworking on this dude? No. Still only got the one multi-craft resourcefulness tool. I think I'm at the point where I've got acuity to burn. Oh my god, I'm definitely at the point where I've got acuity to burn. I wonder if a resourcefulness tool for doing patron orders is not a bad idea. That might help squeeze out a little bit more profit from them over the upcoming months. Who makes leatherworking knives? Blacksmiths. I'm gonna get a second leatherworking tool on the go.
My directive is to serve you.
Artisan leatherworkers and Canife. That one. Null stones, crystalline powders, iron claw alloys. Okay, well that's not. They're not even that expensive to make. Let's grab. Let's grab what we need for one of those. 20 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those. We're going to need a missive of... Are we doing a double resourcefulness tool? Double resourcefulness tool. One of you. And then an enchant tool. Angari resourcefulness. One of you. Right, there we go. What's that? I don't know, 5, 6, 7,000 gold or something? Not a lot.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Alright, let's get one of those made.
Peruse my inventory again.
God, I hope I have the recipe for that in my blacksmith now. I feel silly if I didn't. better than that. I really hope I have the ability to craft it at Q5. Leveling my Goblin Mage to 80 as a herbalist and alchemist. Plan to keep all of the herbs until I hit 80 to level alchemy with. Should I sell them while herbs are high? I wouldn't worry so much about if they're high or if they're low. I would consider, are you happy with the amount of gold that you will get by selling them, full stop. You're worrying if they're high or worrying if they're low is something you do in the future. For right now, you probably just need gold. So just sell them. Would be my take. Plan to level my warrior with mining and blacksmithing the same way. Should I sell the ores as well? If you farm materials, sell them. Like it's like going to work and then saying, do you need to pay me? It's like, yes, get paid. If you're going out there farming stuff, get paid. Sell them. Don't be worrying too much about opportunistic value, future value. Don't be stressing about that. If you've put the time and the effort in to go farm something, just get paid, because then you can use that gold to do other things you want to do. Gold is the universal currency in this game, so you're better off having, or most of the time you're better off holding on to a bunch of gold than you are holding on to a bunch of items. Most materials especially tend to devalue quite aggressively over an expansion, whereas gold is always gold. Sure, over the years gold inflates. We have inflation in WoW like we do IRL. But it's still the universal currency that is most useful to you. So just, yes, don't worry too much about, if you're farming materials, just sell them. Just sell them. I do have the recipe. The question is can I do it big dick mode? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Straight off the bat, no issues. Oh, even a first time craft bonus. How about that? Go. Happy. Come back to you in a minute. How are people doing holding their nerve with the flipping of delve mats? I don't even know what the price of delve mats are today. I haven't really been tracking it, to be honest. I'm also not really expecting them to be anything other than rock bottom cheap right now. I'm wondering how many people have bottled it and cashed out. I think the steady, consistent flow of people still doing delves. I tend to believe that the price on delve mats has zero chance of going anywhere but down until people stop doing delves. For as long as people are still methodically doing their delves on a weekly basis, the price is unlikely to go anywhere but down. Season 1, there was this kind of very, clear and obvious point where people were like, I'm done with delves, sack them off, job done. With the trickle of gilded crests via delves now is clearly going to keep people in delves for longer. So much so that we may not actually see delve mats rise like they did in Season 1. Once again, for me, it falls into that category of, well, if they go up in value, I've got a bunch of them to sell. And if they don't go up in value, then, well, I'll have to find some creative ways to use them or just resell them back out. Right, there's a second resourcefulness. There's a properly spec'd out resourcefulness tool for leatherworking as well. That may help. It only cost me about 8k to make it, so it's no biggie. But it should hopefully allow me to squeeze a little bit more out of the patron orders over the remainder of the expansion. Probably not by much. It probably won't be the difference between making profit and not making profit, but every little helps. Okay. Let's go check jewel crafting real quick, because there's a chance I might need a bonus jewel crafting tool. You at least make me summon. You are artisan security. You're 1 knowledge point, but you're both basically free. Still only got the 1 tool for jewel crafting as well. I actually do need a resourcefulness tool for jewel crafting if I'm ever going to do any prospecting ever again. Because prospecting benefits from resourcefulness only. And without a fully spec'd tool, you are subject to basically not making profit with jewel crafting. So maybe we get another one of these made. And there's part of me that questions whether a third ingenuity spec tool with ingenuity and multi-craft on it is the play for concentration as well. Have I got enough to make 2 tools for jewel crafting? I do. Do I need this artisan security for anything else? There's the question. Recipes, what are we missing with jewel crafting? 2 bloodstone recipes. Well, they don't take artisan security. Leatherworking. I'm only missing 1 world drop recipe, so I don't need any artisan security for recipes. To be fair, I haven't done fishing or cooking tools in any way, shape or form. But I think I might craft up 2 new jewel crafting tools while we're here. Who makes these? Engineers. Ugh, that means they're going to be expensive. Should I go all finesse on gathering tools? These days, probably. There was strong argument for perception on mining tools, but null stones are worth basically nothing these days, so I would still go the more is more approach and just go finesse, yeah.
I have an extended supply of goods for outlanders.
Professional equipment, jewel crafting tool, which one is it? This thing.
My directive has been fulfilled.
What's the sum of one of these if we just buy the mats without thinking about it? 35 gold. 6,000 gold just for the bismuth bolts. 10,000 gold. Let's call it 12 for the sake of maths. 12k. 12k per. Whatever, it's only gold. Missive of... We want a missive of ingenuity. Oh, hello, what are we doing here? I need one missive of ingenuity for the ingenuity tool. I need a missive of resourcefulness for the other one. And then enchants, we need 2 resourcefulness enchants. Or do I go full ingenuity on the ingenuity tool? You can't enchant multi-craft. So is more ingenuity worth more than a touch more resourcefulness? I don't know. We'll buy one of each. We can always swap the enchant, that's the advantage.
My directive is to serve you.
Right, so top tier, top tier, top tier, and top tier with one of you. Let's hope this dude has the ability. I'm pretty sure he does. And then the same again. But with the other, with the resourcefulness enchant on it. Right, let's see if we can get those done.
My thanks for your patronage.
Wasn't necessarily planning on doing this right now, but it's something I've been meaning to do for a while, so get it done. Now to pray that this dude can make them at Q5. He's not the most skilled engineer. Concentration might help here, though. Oh my god. Slideshow mode. Slideshow. Add-ons load. There we go.
Dim lighting and absolutely no airflow. Perfect day for a race.
I think when it comes to material prices, though, one of the biggest things to remember is that whilst you can look back historically and see what happened previously, you're wise to remember that that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same thing next time. Actually, if I go get my weekly order before doing these 2 enchanting engineering orders, I don't need to worry about filling out other silly orders. Genius, that.
Walk with the earth.
Ultimately, everybody's just guessing. There is such thing as a more educated guess, but it's still a guess. So, regarding the delve mats, to conclude on those really, I'm, one, I only spent as much on the delve mats as I was willing to basically never see again, so that if I did never see it again, I wouldn't cry about it. Secondly, the worst case scenario realistically is I sell them for whatever they're selling for then again in the future, which means I'm never set to technically lose 100% of the gold. The only way I lose all of the gold is by not selling them, which, I mean, they're materials. That's not a problem. You'll always sell them. The question is just for how much. But timing is going to be a little bit more critical this time, maybe. Timing is going to be a little bit more critical. Because the rise for delve mats, we suspect, is towards, like, the end of the season, not where everything else tends to be at the highest point, which is shortly after a new season, which is a bit weird. Slightly different, but... Right, there's 2 more tools. Meaning we should now have... Let's make sure we get the right enchant on the right tool. We will go in full ingenuity. I wanted to test if full ingenuity is the play here. There's actually a strong possibility that a multi-craft tool, but with an ingenuity enchant, is actually the most optimal than fully ingenuity, because you can multi-craft on gems, and so there's the strong argument that you should. So that might technically need a re-roll, but I wanted to do it this way just to see. So it might actually be swapped. I might do a recraft on that if it turns out to not be the best to be multi-craft, then with an ingenuity enchant on it. But we can do a bit of testing with that one to see which one actually works out best. I could for the purpose of testing, swap the enchant on this to ingenuity to then compare the two against each other to see which one is actually mathematically better. I actually do strongly suspect that multicraft with more ingenuity is the win on that, since a multicraft proc gives you multiple freebies, whereas ingenuity is at best the option to press the button again. Dual crafting a swell, it's not actually even the option to press the button again, is it? Because it only refunds 50% on dual crafting. Yeah, that needs a reroll. That needs to be multi-craft. I've done goofed on that. What's the recraft option on that? I don't even need to do the maths. I've done the maths in my head. Okay, now select the right one. That one. If we want to re-roll that with multi-craft in there, what's it going to cost me? 18 bismuth bolts for a recraft. Oh my lord. What is it to make it new? 36. It costs half as much to do a recraft. Sheesh! When did they start making the recraft so damn expensive? 50% of the cost of the item recrafting it. Oh, there's part of me that might just make another one anyway. Ran Skyreach 206 times. Still only at 91% with all the mogs that you can collect. How are people finding this, the fact that you can collect all of the appearances now on any character? Has it pushed more people into going back and farming the old dungeons and stuff out? I mean, clearly if somebody's doing it, but The skill cost of recraft is even more egregious. Is it really? Godsend for collectors. Oh, I imagine. I mean, it's literally 20% of the effort now, isn't it? Definitely got baited into doing it. Yeah, I mean, you used to have to run each place at least 5 different times, didn't you? And then there was probably nothing worse than being on a mage and getting a piece of plate drop, and then running it on your warrior and getting a piece of cloth drop. Like, it must have been so frustrating. So in that regard, it probably more than 5 times the amount of effort. Whereas now, if something drops and you don't have the appearance, boom, here you go, have the appearance. Yeah, I didn't realise that these were like so disgusting to recraft. I should have just got it right the first time, shouldn't I? That'll teach me.
My directive has been fulfilled.
That'll teach me for not getting it right first time. On top of the fact it's going to cost me 1,000 gold for the missive. Well, whoever's selling engineering parts has just made a pretty penny off me. Off my own stupidity of not thinking about stuff before doing it. It's not like me at all, is it? Not like me at all. This is why we have to make lots of gold. Because I waste lots of it doing stupid things like not thinking. Oh no, whoa, hang on. It's a recraft. Recraft. That one. We're swapping this for that.
My thanks for your patience.
Right, 3rd time lucky. Had to run the Legion raids for Mogs so many times for my preset. I don't really want to admit the number. That was before the Warband appearance was implemented. Yeah, people who farmed like full sets back in before this are clearly people who have more effort than I do. This is why there's part of me that I'm really glad that I don't care about Mogs. I don't really care how my characters look. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that I don't, because while I do have that kind of collector bug to a degree, I'm glad that I don't feel the need to collect all the appearances. I'm happy focusing on like recipes, pets, toys, mounts, that sort of stuff. I'm glad the appearances aren't my thing. Right, well that was quick enough to fix that problem. Right, so for the most part now, my main character has almost zero need for artisan security, other than maybe some fishing and or cooking reasons. But outside of that, basically no. For the rest of the expansion, I don't need to worry about artisan security at all. I know many people have been at this point for ages already, but I didn't start this character properly until halfway through Season 1. So I'm slacking. Big slacking. Okay, but it now does mean when we do any multi-craft specific stuff, when we do any ingenuity related stuff, and when we do any resourcefulness related stuff, we have the tools to do the job. Mold determines how much skill is required to make this what? No. If selected, your assigned ingenuity tool will be used when concentration is selected, even if the recipe uses multicraft. Yes. That will mean that when we press this button, it'll swap out to the multicraft ingenuity tool. Yes, that's what we want. And that should mean we can run over, make some gems. Let's just see what Dawn crafting is like for recipe scan. That one. Wait, hang on. Did we select concentration? Yeah. Where's the money then? Show me the money. Prismatic null stones? No, I don't think so. There's something about that doesn't sit right. Yeah, there we go. Prismatic null stones are 3 times the price they probably should be at Q3. Wow. Even blasphemites are like only 2 gold per concentration right now. Is this pulling odd numbers? What's going on here? Oh, is it because it's... That's real disgusting, isn't it? Even deadly rubies, for example. We can go full tier 2, slap some concentration on them. Let's look at the reagent optimization here. For top profit, you want to throw a mirror powder in there and all. So fully optimized, you're getting 5 gold per point of concentration. $492.96. Ingenuity is still only at 10%. That's also before we pop a vial. I don't think you should be putting any effort whatsoever into ingenuity in any way, shape or form, even when doing concentration crafting on Dawn crafting. So much so that I'm starting to think that this entire tool is actually a big fat stinky waste. I think we should still be using... I think you actually get better results going multi-craft resourcefulness. Or there's like 1 silver in it mathematically. Which basically means there's no difference whatsoever. But you throw a vial on the go. You throw a vial on the go. And then are we saying that completely 100% ignoring ingenuity is still the play? Multicraft resourcefulness. Swap that out for multicraft ingenuity. Yeah, it's literally identical. So it actually doesn't matter. Making that other tool. Not only making that other tool, but recrafting that second tool was totally pointless. Oh well, but at least now we know. At least now we know. Even for concentration crafting, you 100% ignore ingenuity. stack multicraft, and then secondly resourcefulness. Because a proc on, I'm going to guess, well, a proc on anything other than the gem is a win, right? Ha! That's wild. Okay. Right, boys and girls, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break, quick bathroom break, and my phone is ringing. I'll be back with you in 2. Okay, right. Thanks for sticking with me, boys and girls. When are you planning on jumping into the Division 2? Based upon what time it is already, we'll probably play some Division 2 tomorrow. I don't really have too much more time today. I may have mentioned earlier in the week that it's my wife's birthday this week. And so that is keeping me, or at least today. That might keep me a little bit more busy. But let's get a couple of these gems made, so I've at least got something to sell. Now that I've put the time and the effort into making these extra tools. All for nothing, mind, let me add. The resourcefulness one will be good, though. It means when we do some prospecting, if we do some prospecting, we might start being able to squeeze some margin out of prospecting again, now that we've got the proper tools for it. And more than that, I've actually finished the prospecting tree now, which is nice. All profession tools that aren't gathering should be multi-craft and resourcefulness. No, it's not that straightforward. It's not that straightforward. You have to take each scenario individually. This is why on most of my professions I have multiple tools, because you need different setup tools for depending on what you're doing. There will be a mathematically correct setup for the tool for each individual craft. This is why understanding how these secondary stats work will give you an easier time trying to figure out what tool is the right one to use. Because I'm good with maths, and so I kind of find it relatively intuitive, but I understand if maths isn't so much your thing, it can be a little bit like, all these numbers, I don't know which one's better. Right, could do with a couple of nice juicy multi-craft procs here. Game please. There we go, there's one, that'll do. Another one. 2 multi-craft procs. We take those. Made the mirror powder worthwhile. Is it that time of the day already? The doggo alarm clock's going off. It's probably because I've just left the studio and come back, and she's like, "Oi, human, you didn't take me for a pee." These will probably instantly sell, so let's just post them on this main dude anyway. Okay, did I do patron orders over here? I'm pretty sure I did. I did that before I made the tools, didn't I? There we go, Deadly Ruby's already selling. Oh, I can't believe I'm still like 100 plus points behind on Drawn Crafting and 200 on Leatherworking. These are going to take forever to fill. Forever. Because this is where it's just a grind. This is where it's just a slog now. There's no quick and easy wins with these final points. The reality is, with concentration, I can craft anything leatherworking at max quality anyway, which is also means the incentive of filling all of these nodes out is even less. Just going to have to chip away at those patron orders. Right, let's check the next dude. Right, where'd we got to on blacksmithing? 263 points behind. Oh, Lord. Fun fact, blacksmithing is the only profession from Dragonfly I also haven't maxed. Far too many flipping points. Far too many points. Did I pick up the weekly quests? No, I didn't.
I've been expecting.
Usually run 2 leatherworking toons, 1 mail, 1 leather. So when they're scarce, yeah. I mean, the doubling up is not a terrible idea at all. I do have multiple of each of these professions, but it's on my 4 main characters that I like to, or traditionally try to, just get everything on those 4 characters. If I have 2nd, 3rd, 4th copies of professions, then I don't care. They just do what they need to do. But yeah, my OCD and the collector in me likes to have everything on my first few toons, given the chance. We can get 4 orders done here, though. Take those. But yeah, just quite simply getting into the habit of rotating through my characters, doing nothing but patron orders to catch up is something that is just going to have to be on the cards for a while until the job's done. In theory, the theory is that when you can sometimes make a small mini profit from each one anyway, even without trying to farm the knowledge points, you should want to do the patron orders daily anyway.
Do you have a query?
10 gleaming shards? No thanks, that's too expensive. That's not happening. Finally finished Dragonflight Blacksmith thing about 2 months ago. Yeah, see, this is it, right? It's when it takes so flipping many points, I can totally see why people don't finish them. Right, and also whilst we're here, it'd be rude not to. Be rude not to. That seems about optimal. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Oh, God, I didn't shatter first. Didn't shatter, and I also don't have the buff up. Where's the ingenuity buff? There we go. Twos all round, on a vellum, with a framework, hit the concentration button. Gonna assume that's basically as good as we get. 15 gold a pop. Sheesh. Now we just got to pray for some procs. Oh shit, am I out of storm dust? Oh no! Well, we've burnt through our reserve of storm dust then. Oh, I don't pay market rates on storm dust. That's crazy talk. Market rate's 19 gold right now. I suppose that's not the worst. I was paying 15 way back in the day. Do we take just 10,000 out the market? That's a bit too much. It's going to go down in price. I'll take 2,000 out the market now. Why is that now a totally different number? What's gone on here? Why is this gone funky donkey? Hello? Yeah, that'll be because my that'll be because the price of the storm. Yeah, I see. I've now rebought dust, and so it's recalculated. Oh, and we've ran out of concentration already. We got like 1 proc. 50% ingenuity, and we got 1 proc. Are you shitting me? Well, You win some, you lose some. I've had 17 before. We got 5. We got scammed. Scammed hard.
My directive is to serve you.
Blacksmithing. Where's enchanting?
Return and peruse my inventory again. I have an extended supply of goods for outlanders.
It's probably worth putting all of that in there.
My thanks for your patience.
Also, thinking about it while I'm here.
My directive is to serve you.
Let's take... Where did they go?
Return.
Random ass gear out, get that disenchanted. Is one of your main characters a Dawn Gatherer? I have a Dawn Gatherer, but I certainly wouldn't consider it a main. I can't remember the last time I logged on and did any gathering. I don't farm. Like, the longer you lurk around here, the more you'll realise I don't do farming particularly. Unless it is outrageously, ludicrously profitable, you won't see me doing much farming. I just don't need the gold badly enough. The reality for me is that farming is something you do as a means to an ends, right? It's something that you do initially to generate a little bit of raw gold so that you can use it to level up professions and flip other items, and you know, the art of farming particularly is too much like a job. When you are directly trading your time for a value of gold, I just get super bored super quick, which ultimately means I don't even bother doing it. And so, more often than not, it's hence why I don't have a skinner. I don't have a skinning character full stop, mostly because I just know I'm not going to do it. Standing in a 2x4 group, just shoot it, pew, 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 skin, 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 for hours and hours on end. No, I'd rather do literally anything else. I'll take the dogs for a walk instead. You know, I'll do something more constructive. It's not something that intrigues me particularly. Some people find, you know, flying around casually picking up herbs and ore relatively therapeutic, and it can be somewhat relaxing. And doing something that's just like brain-numbingly low effort whilst also feeling like you're making a bit of gold is fine. But it is at its most useful when you are at your poorest, should I say, in game. That I do not enjoy farming. The gold that I get from farming doesn't counteract how much I don't enjoy doing it. Let's pop one of you. Do I have any ever-burning ignitions in my bags? Nope. Let's make one of you. We'll probably want to swap the vial to Bountiful Seasons. Pop you. And I'm going to assume we're doing some sort of alloys, but the question is which one? No, recipe scan. Wow. Default basic bitch core alloys is the play. Sheesh. It's not a lie either. That's surprising. Sure. Even wants me to use the Ingenuity framework to squeeze out more. Do I believe it? Well, I've already popped a Vial of Bountiful Season, so I'm going to ignore that little tip. There we go. 7 core alloys as well on the cheap. Question is do I want to then use those to make higher tier ones? Not with the use of concentration, but with straight multi-craftage. That doesn't matter, does it, really? I can't make enough of them to balance out RNG. I run the Jewel Gatherers whilst leveling the alts to break up the queues questing, otherwise I'm kind of the same. I hate it. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? At that point, it's doing something additional for you, right? It's if you are trying to find some way to kill some time, then herbing and mining is an absolute great way to do it. Because it fills a gap that otherwise isn't going to be filled by you doing something else. So in that mindset, nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Do it in very, very short bursts, and at least you get in somewhere. But I just genuinely can't be like, oh, I'm going to go do 5 hours of herbalism and mining today and make 20k gold an hour and make 100k for trading 5 hours of my life. I just can't do it. Why didn't I just click open all? Should really put all of that back on the auction house. I need to adjust some of my operations slightly. The normal prices are getting a bit ridiculous. My groups are put together with item level in consideration for some of these items, which has its uses, but I'd actually rather probably have them not set up like that nowadays, I think. Because it just causes my profile to sell or attempt to sell things at ludicrous prices. Then again, you only need one of those magical hero sales, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, it was worth it then. Right. I think for now, boys and girls, I'm probably going to leave it there for today. I've been keeping the streams a little bit shorter this week. Mostly because I suspect next week we're going to have a bit of a bumper session with the new patch launching. There's the new hourly event next week. We got the leveling thing. There's lots going on next week. Somebody has just drove past my house making a load of racket because I got the window open now because it's starting to get warm. But boys and girls, thank you all for joining today. We had a Mahusive raid from WoW Grandma, so if you joined in with the raid, thank you very much for sticking by, appreciate it. Is there Somebody online we can share the love with. Should we send you over to Bear? Oh, she's playing some Final Fantasy. Wow. Let's share the love. Let's pass you on to Bear. I was half expecting her to be playing... Oh, she's playing Final Fantasy 14. Nice. Right. We're going to send you over to Bear. Go share the love. Give us some love. Thank you for joining. Come say hi on the Discord if you haven't already. All the links are down below. And enjoy the rest of your day. Right, so let's set up this raid. Bear. Send you over to Bear. Right, let's let that load in. Load in, load in, load in. There we go. Right, boys and girls. Love you and leave you. See you tomorrow. Peace.